As social service professionals, I see it as our duty and ethical responsibility based on our code of ethics to eradicate racism. But how do we do that, and what does it look like for each of us? It first requires a willingness to be uncomfortable. We must do the work internally, inside of our system, inside of our agency, inside of our department, but for me, inside of ourselves. Self-examination work is critical to eradicating racism, inequality, injustice, and disproportionality. If we do not change, and if we are not comfortable with change, then we cannot expect a large system that has been built on these erratic qualities to change operation. We must be the ones to do it. Who here believes that change is a healthy part of an organization?
For those online, a lot of hands went up in the room.
An organization should adapt and adjust to times. In a healthy organization, there is often an understanding that change is needed and inevitable. As a leader, this may feel like a challenge to who you are and the role you have in the agency. But really, the challenge is for leadership to create a healthy organization and productive change for that organization. One that is focused on the mission of the agency. Create an environment that supports changing the way we do things, instead of doing things the way they have always been done for decades. Change to your leadership can be healthy and does not always pose a threat, but it may impact the status quo, which is something we encourage you to do. This means being more responsive to the community and the clients that are being serviced by your staff. This means leadership should be curious about why this is no longer working for your clients and staff, even if it was a great idea that you once had. As a leader in your department, you may have personal interests, ideas, and projects that become policy. When the idea comes that change needs to occur, this can sometimes feel like a personal attack or a judgment towards what once worked. This can cause an issue when problems need to be solved, but make leadership feel uncomfortable about what conflict can arise. Initially, we want to be defensive because the idea of change did not land well with us. But when we think about the fear of open conflict, we must understand that raising hard issues does not always require someone to be polite. It does not always require those to raise the hard issues in a way that is acceptable for leadership. Creating this level of discord can be beneficial for the agency because the change that needs to occur is for the benefit of the community and the clients your staff service. As a child welfare worker, it was important for me to understand my bias, cultural background, childhood, formal education, and agency dynamics, and how it impacts my day-to-day work. The way we have been socialized seeps into every decision we make as professional staff. And it is important to understand why and with what intent we are basing our decision off of. As a member of the Equity and Inclusion Task Team, I was one of 2 child welfare workers who went through the pilot program. I then participated in the first line staff cohort. During both experiences, I was able to grow as a Black woman, to understand my own cultural impact and racial trauma. I am comfortable stating, as a Black woman, I too perpetuate the white supremacy culture. It is what I do now that I'm aware that will make the difference. Since graduating from the Equity and Inclusion Fellowship, I have purposely taken a different approach to the work. I am now more aware and connected to my bias and intentions in the work that I do, as I am comfortable acknowledging that of the agency. When I engage with clients, it's with a sense of humbleness and purpose. I am here as a social worker to serve them, not get in the way of services for them. I'm here as a social worker to listen, even when I do not agree or understand. I am here as a social worker to support the family's best interests with no self-gain. I now have a deeper understanding and respect for others' cultures and experiences because I have a better understanding of my own. As a line staff worker, I am asking you all to be willing to be actively listening, hear, and hold compassion for your line staff experiences because they are the face of the agency for our clients. It is often a place of comfort and confirmation bias to only listen to those in our echo chamber. By accepting that there are many ways to get to the same goal and line staff hold value to, this can provide newfound benefit to management decisions and client outcomes. Oftentimes, we may think that there is only one right way for the work to get done. So when suggestions come up and we do not agree with them, or they're different than the way that we think, we are quick to shut it down or use our power and privilege as management to stop it from happening. Yet holding a space for conversation and discussion and learning can give us a new opportunity to see it through their lens and perspective. It is not personal to receive this type of feedback about an organization. It is true leadership. So my message to all of you leaders in management roles is to be mindful when you respond to your workers' distrust. Where is this place of defensiveness coming from? And is there something inside of me that is impacting my ability to see a need for change?